Yesterday we looked at God's merciful response to Cain following Cain's murder of his brother Abel. Today we continue with Cain's response to God's punishment. Verse 13, chapter 4. Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is more than I can bear. Today you are driving me from the land, and I will be hidden from your presence. I will be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." But the Lord said to him, "Not so. If anyone kills Cain, he will suffer vengeance 7 times over." Then the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him. So I noted that God is merciful, even with the unrepentant. When Cain complains that his punishment is too harsh, God marks him in some way. We have no idea how. But the mark is for Cain's protection. And what we're going to see, and what we see really in capital letters as the Bible unfolds, is God's concern for justice is matched only by his care for the sinner. So God's concern is that there will be justice, that all wrongs will be made right, but that is matched by his concern and care for those who are guilty of wrong, which includes you and me. And so he is going to provide provision for sinners, and he's going to do so at the expense that is to himself. So let me just note, if God is merciful to Cain, who is unrepentant, how much more merciful will he be to those who are repentant? And let me encourage you to be repentant, to take a clear-eyed look at your own heart, your own actions, your own sin, to own them and to move forward. Verse 16. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. So East of Eden, the title of that Steinbeck novel, East of Eden, meaning a bad place. You don't necessarily want to go there. Look, the land of Nod is not a place you're going to find on a map for a variety of reasons, one of which is that it's not really a land, it just means he wanders. And so what we're being told here is that he's a wanderer from this point on. Lack of stability, lack of a home base, lack of a peaceful dwelling. And the implication is that as he wanders, he gets further and further from God. Then in verses 17 through 24, we have this account of Cain's descendants, along with a number of their names. I'm not going to read it in part because I can't pronounce many of these names. But we're then told that Cain builds a city. And we're told a little bit about one of Cain's descendants, a man named Lamech. And this is where I want to focus. So Lamech marries 2 women, and in taking 2 wives, he's sort of breaking creation order, 1 man, 1 woman, together for a lifetime, and begins polygamy. And this is sort of the big beginning of the sexual revolution, which will be detrimental to all involved, especially to women from this point on. But the point that's stressed, the point to focus on here, is the very egotistical boast that Lamech makes to his 2 wives, which he goes so far as to turn into a poem. And basically he says, look, God said that he'd punish anyone who killed Cain 70 times. Well, that's nothing compared to what I'll do to anybody who even scratches me. Right, so God says he's going to, that if somebody harms Cain, he's going to judge them 70 times. Nothing compared to my vengeance, my response to anybody who gets in my way. So in the Gospels, of course, Jesus is famously going to overturn this by moving against this, sort of 70 times 7 is a number of infinity. I mean, it's 490, but it's sort of understood to be the perfect number multiplied. It's a huge number. And we're going to see Jesus move from 70 times 7 acts of vengeance to 70 times 7 acts of forgiveness. But we're also going to see, that Lamech's bloodline is going to be stopped. And it'd be easy to miss again because we tend to not read the genealogies, and you not only have to read them, you sort of have to pay attention to them. But what we're going to see is some genealogies, and we're going to see a pivot from the genealogy that it would follow Lamech's bloodline to the genealogy that will follow the other bloodline of Adam and Eve through Seth, which is eventually, ultimately, going to lead to Jesus. So there's a lot here, right, underneath the surface. Keep reading. Have a good day.